Here come people. Hold on there. Me lock off this, because I don't want no strangers over here. Hang fire. 1 second. Subscribers only. No new friends. No new friends. No new friends. We don't want a new friends. Let me put this 24 hours. Move on a bumble. So we want to know over here. Let me lock the door. Hold on there. We are going to whisper. Good afternoon, good afternoon. We're going to whisper and chat to people in business. Hey, Pi Gordon, what's up? Oh, God, Pa, what a God. Hey. I hope I hold it live a God, and you're not coming. I want to hold it a crowd over here. None at all. You understand? Hey, doing? What's up? This chat is for my graduates. It's not for the newbies. It's not for the graduates. Them. So if you're a newbie, sit this one out. You understand? Just listen and keep out on your fingers if he's a newbie. But if he's not a newbie, say, you know what I go on from the social media streets. Guys, I was doing my nails. I told you, why is it that it's so difficult when you are right-handed to do your right hand? Because your left hand is just whack. And I put the damn polish on, and the friggin' thing is all bubbling up. It's so annoying. And I think I didn't let it dry enough, so I had to take off all the gel polish. On my right hand. Left hand look mint enough. I have to take off the whole of the polish on the right hand and start all over flipping again. So annoying. Hi, Zenergy. By God, I reach over here quick, yes. She did that over and she did over Auntie Yard. Yes, that's why I'm going to do this live at this time. I don't want to hold it buckle up over here. I want to talk, but probably lock this too. Only members alone can see it. You understand? What a piece of bangarang on the social media streets, people. What a whole heap of things are going on, whole heap of drama going out there, Me say, me sit in and me just watch and I observe. You understand now? Yeah, we just sit and observe and then we laugh. I novlet. Yes? Let's just sit and observe and then we laugh at all of the shenanigans them. No put nobody name in the comments in the Hey Social Spectator. No put nobody name in the comments, my loves. But we don't know who this scandal is all about. Boy, I don't know why GoFundMe hurt up people. It's so, you understand? People give off them own free will to whatever cause them want to give to. But right is right. And fear is fear. And wrong is wrong. And it coming like say people out here because of them allegiances afraid for talk the things them and say what is correct and what is not correct. So here what we are going to do now, graduates. We're going to put it in these terms. What is the right thing to do when you close down a GoFundMe for a cause and decide that the cause is no longer viable? What's the right thing to do? You tell me in the comments. Because if I start a GoFundMe, people, and that GoFundMe is for, say for example, may I set up a GoFundMe for, I don't know, start a basic school. May I give a situation, Yes? Yeah, people money in general mad them. Me no watch none, cause me no watch mix. Carry you see my post on Facebook. You see my post on Facebook? I don't want to people. I can't go out with yourself too much out here. I don't do mix up. I don't follow mix up pages and I don't talk mix up. And I'm only here for the non-mix up lies. Anyway, as I said, right? say for example, I started a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe was for a basic school, and the basic school was gonna cost me a certain amount of money, and I'm looking to the public to help me to build this basic school, right? And it so happens that the whole venture either is too expensive or it's turning out to be that I'm not achieving my goal, etc., for the purpose of this basic school building. I'm gonna decide, say, you know something, it just now gonna work out. Me now go bother bill the GoFundMe. You understand? Me I go just end this because it not gonna work. Now, there are two things that I need to do. First of all, I need to advise GoFundMe that I am ending the campaign that I started. And I also need to advise the people who donated to say that, listen, this is not going to work. I have to close this GoFundMe. Now, many will argue that you can also choose to say, okay, guys, I'm going to use this GoFundMe money to do a different cause. That is not legal. Me telling you straight. It is not legal. Yeah, it isn't. Not to say it can be done, because if the donors don't mind, then the donors don't mind. But me telling you straight, say it's not legal. Why? Because anything that I set up that GoFundMe for, I assign to a set of terms and conditions for GoFundMe, which stipulates that the money collected must be used for the purpose of which it was intended when I set up the GoFundMe in the first place. So if I decide to use the GoFundMe for an alternative thing and just tell the donors, but GoFundMe is not aware, that's fraud. I said what I said. You understand? Listen carefully. Come in and mince my words. Likewise, if I decide that, okay, I've got my GoFundMe, I am supposed to, when setting up my GoFundMe, attach a bank account for the purpose of withdrawing funds. You are free to withdraw any donations at any time in any GoFundMe that you set up. And that will go straight into the established bank account that you have attached to the GoFundMe. Now, if it is that I am carrying out an activity within the UK, legally, I am supposed to attach a bank account in the UK. You understand? Reason for that is, you know, like when in America, we have Uncle Sam. Yeah. Here we have HMRC. And for the purpose of HMRC, you need to declare any donations that you have received if you are not a registered charity. Registered charity gets something called gift aid. If you remember that show that I did when I was talking about the woman whose family was trying to scam her for her father thing, and she said she'd go give the money through gift aid, reason being that woman had a registered charity. You hear that? Okay. So anyway, if you are donating and it's through gift aid, then you don't need to declare anything to HMRC. But not donating, if you're receiving donations and you are a registered charity, you don't need to, because that is considered to be gift aid, right? So you would put that on your books. But if you are anything else, you do need to declare it. Now, as to whether or not you are going to be taxed on it, it depends. It is very much dependent on what it is for, okay, here in the UK. But sometimes you can get taxed on it. So say for example, I was getting money as a donation for education. For example, there's no tax on that at all. Yes? If it were anyone else, he'd be dragging them for 40 days and nights. Sexy B. Anyway, as I said, no put no name empire. No, listen, just listen. Right? Okay. So depending on whatever it is for, you may be charged taxes on it. But the only way they're going to be made aware of it is if you declare it. And also if you get audited and that money goes into a UK bank account and you are declaring self-assessment to show that you are self-employed, and you're declaring your company accounts to show that you are a limited company, right? Because everybody who has a limited company also has to submit self-assessment, because there's going to be elements of it that you may not run through the company, that you may earn on the side, right? As a self-employed person. All right. So you're supposed to use a UK bank account so that these things are verifiable. If you're using an offshore account, it would be because either the activity is taking place offshore or you are avoiding HMRC knowing that you have received the donation. Me just attack it as facts. Me not call nobody name. I'm in a business about nobody, but me I tell you what the facts are and the law is. Alright. In addition, yes, if I decide say, boy, give me donation, you nah go can match up to the school when I want bill, I need to refund the people and their money. The ideal thing is to do this via Gofundme. Now, Gofundme in the UK charges 25p per donation plus about 3%, right? And while it is that you can say don't give anything to Gofundme, there is still a fee to pay, right? Okay. So you can decide to refund your donors, and all you've got to do is to go online, submit the request to refund the donors, and it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. As long as you haven't transferred them to your bank account. You can request that and it will go right back. They'll receive their funds. It takes about 7 to 10 business days to do it. You understand? But then I wouldn't, if I'm receiving donations for a cause, take that money out and start putting it in all kinds of bank accounts unless I was certain that I was going to go ahead with what I am going to do. And I know that I had enough money to actually get started. For one thing, putting things in accounts, putting things in different systems are going to incur fees when it comes to taking them out, transferring them across, reduce the amount of donations anyway. So why would I do that? I'd keep it there. This is just me. I'd keep it there until I get to that point where I know that I can actually carry out the activity. And if I can't, then it's a very straightforward refund. Very straightforward refund. So while it is that my donors may not mind because they love me so much, or they don't care, once they give it to me, they give it to me, etc., etc., there are certain processes that determine whether or not financial activity is transparent or not transparent. And if we're going to be fair out here, we would be having those discussions. But of course, no, not going to have those discussions. Everybody's going to skirt around it, go through the back door, go around the corner, ray, because we love somebody. It doesn't matter who it is. You understand? There are certain things that when it comes to transparency, it's just black and white. There's no gray. That's why it's called transparency. You're supposed to can sit through it. You hear me? Now, everybody asked me if CMR assume me it. And I have to just laugh because let me tell you guys something, you see? Well, probably no no. It takes thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of US dollars and pounds to sue across jurisdiction. And to come after somebody who is not in your country can broke you if you not have it like that. And if the person you're going after does not have enough money to even pay you back, it's a wasted venture. You understand? Which is why most of the defamation cases that you see out here on social media happens among celebrities where they stand to gain or within the locality of that person's jurisdiction, because then it's affordable and the costs can be recouped. So GoFundMe is useful. Yes, it is useful for worthy causes. But I know that there are certain GoFundMes that would never see my money. Certain. You understand? Including even let me tell you something. I've seen people put out GoFundMes of people being ill and rare and not one ratty thing no go so. And you see, me personally, if I do not have a familiarity with the person that's setting it up, a familiarity with the person who is not well, or a familiarity with the situation, I'm hesitant. It's only because I know people personally and what is happening personally why I would put out one or say support one. Otherwise, I would hesitate. It doesn't mean that whoever knows that person would hesitate. Nor would I say, don't go over there, so go do it. I'm telling you about me and where I put my money. No, what you say? Me, I gonna make a GoFundMe so I can do my body. 6K, you're gonna donate, not a ras. Me not give no money to that. You keep picking quiet. Cause be sure those say my brother-in-law don't care about them sitting there. If why you're natural. So no. But go do body. I'm just saying that we have to be careful about what we put out there, and try to pass it off as normal or okay, because these are the kind of things that can come back and bite you later on in life. You understand? And I personally am not going to say anything with regards to how the people deal with their money, angle their money, really, that's their business. But all I'll speak about is what is legal in the UK. Now, say for example, you don't transfer already. It don't gone bad because it transfer, which is not illegal to do. You can transfer your stuff. I remember, charity donations, they're not normally refundable, You got to remember this, right? They're not normally refundable, right? Sometimes, most times, in the terms and conditions of GoFundMe, they will tell you that when you give it's normally not refundable and not recoverable, right? And that also one key thing as well is that there could be some tax issues if there are refunds, right? So it does complicate matters. But if the cause isn't going ahead, then GoFundMe will have no choice but to do that. Now, if the cause, say for example, the cause went ahead and the people them just say, "Give me back my money. Man, a business say you build the school." GoFundMe will look at that person and say, "Hell to the no," because we can see that it has happened. They will check, right? You ain't getting it back. Okay? You're supposed to know what you're giving to and when you're giving to it. And the person has done what they said they were going to do with the money. You understand? Such person knew darn well that paltry sum was never near us. Hey, oh no, no easy, not at all, right? Hey, cut and fold, pick up yourself. So, where it is that it has not been carried out, it is essential that a refund does happen for transparency to happen, right? If you have withdrawn the funds from GoFundMe, then GoFundMe is no longer responsible for the refund. It is now down to the individual. And this is how GoFundMe can be used for scamming. It can. Because if the persons are withdrawing the funds ahead of the goal, GoFundMe does not actually reflect the deduction. And that's something that I wish GoFundMe would change. It's silly because when you withdraw the funds, it still looks like the goal, the full amount is yet to be achieved. It still looks like the same amount that was collected that you withdrawn is still sitting there when in fact it's gone. It's been taken out. That's the truth. That's a fact, right there. So GoFundMe actually says it. All you have to do is Google, people. And I had something that, right? It doesn't reflect it at all. Just Google, can I withdraw funds before achieving my target on GoFundMe? And it comes right up. Yes, and it tells you that it will not reflect the changed balance on the screen. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. My order some food and it just come. Yeah. So as I was saying, right, it has to be done in a way that, okay, all right, I have all the money now and I now need to refund it. That's going to even reduce the pot even more because there'll be fees to pay for the transferring. There's going to be charges because you don't just transfer money for free like that. Everything I go cost more and the money I go just get nyamina, right? Which is not ideal at all. It's not the ideal thing. And as I said, right, it is a very sticky ground when doing that. And it's never a good thing to take it out unless you are ready to do what you are saying that you're doing. Now if I can say for example, I can prove and say, guys, I started the project, I bought the bricks for the school, I got the land, but I can't afford the labor, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. Then really and truly it should be a case of, guys, I need to increase the amount of money I'm asking for because this is not enough. If I'm going to say, listen, I don't want this anymore, then I'm going to have to try and either sell on the things I'm going to buy, give back the land, and try and recoup my costs. It may end up coming out of my own personal pocket to refund the money. Now it's going to be tricky, isn't it? Now I have to pay back people who before they would have gone through GoFundMe. Now I got to do it myself. How do I make sure that the money I give back is going to be given back to the wrong person? How do I verify it? It just gets trickier and trickier because having withdrawn the funds, I should have a record of everybody who donated. But it will be partial because remember, Information Sharing Act. Full information of the donors are not going to come to you. And if the person chose to be anonymous, you're screwed. You understand? So now you're down a slippery slope Because if somebody donated and not put their name, how you they gonna know how much we give such person? If them some person, random person declare and said, I was the anonymous that gave £20. Lord Jesus, a problem. Cause me no know which one of the anonymous them can me have 5 anonymous people here will give $20. How me I gonna know which of the 5? Right? What is? So the person loses out. That's right. What is buzz sub mode? It's sub mode dep on it, man. Sub mode dep on it. Sub mode dep on it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. So what me just know. Right. So now me no know which of the people hi Steph B. The $20 is for. Because me have 5 anonymous people where them donate $20. 2 backside. Complication. Right? So how am I going to verify? How am I going to figure it out? It just gets more and more complicated to the point of impossibility. Oh boy. Anyway, I can probably ask the people to show me some ID and give me the time and date, maybe. Then how me I gonna know still, even if them give me an ID? How me I gonna know? And if I was to go by UK law, you're not supposed to just show your ID so to random people, even if somebody you donate to. You understand? Because that's your personal information. So how does that work? It doesn't quite work, does it? I'm asking for people's personal data. I don't have hey, listen, UK law is very straightforward with certain things, If you are handling people's personal data, you're supposed to have certain things set with regards to knowing that that data is going to be handled properly. That's the truth. In my business, I was registered for data protection, for data handling, when I was more dealing with children and I was working with the ICO. I was registered with the ICO. But that was when I was dealing with children. Now that I'm dealing with adults, they're not so strict with certain things, but I have to have a data protection policy and stuff that my clients have to sign up to, so they know how the data that I have is handled, how it's disposed of, etc. And that's via the Information Commissioner's Office. Now, a straightforward person who I deal with people information, I don't know. It's hit and miss in terms of what you can trust. That's just my opinion on that. But then it's down to how people feel. You understand? It's down to their comfort level. But I wouldn't feel comfortable asking for that personally. And then it's like, okay, I can't get them to necessarily verify that way. So how else am I going to do it? It start to go down an even more slippery slope. GDPR is no joke. You're damn straight. You can get sued for that too. Not harassed. Never will I ever give such person my ID to verify if I was the one who donated anonymously. Couldn't be the sender. Send a screenshot of it. I am about to get to that. Valencia, you are so smart. Exactly. So my next thing is, I now need to send him or her a message to say, listen, I can't take your ID. So can you send me evidence of the donation via a screenshot on your statement that shows that you sent X amount to the GoFundMe. And then they'll be like, yeah, sure, that I can do. I can take that line out of my statement. I can screenshot it and go, here you go. I sent $20. I did do it anonymously, but that's the transaction right there. All right. So now I have to send the money back. So you're going to have to give me something. You can't be anonymous anymore. You have to give me your full name. How do you want it? Is it via PayPal? Is it via Zelle? Is it via Cash App? Is it via, you understand, MoneyGram, Ray, and the fees, the transactional fees for transferring that keeps racking up. Because you know, so you can't send nothing via Western Union and it not charge you. You can't send nothing via PayPal and it not charge you. You can't send nothing. I mean, I know about Zelle or Cash App. I don't know anything about those two things because I don't work with them. I've never dealt with them. I'm in the UK. We don't have those things. I don't know anything about that. But I know for PayPal, there's a transactional fee. Okay. So who's going to bear the liability of that transaction, the fees that are going to come out of this? And how many of these do I need to do? Gets more and more complicated. Money start go down. You understand? Becomes a big headache, really. And then it muddies the water of transparency. It becomes so complicated because the transactions just get more and more difficult to monitor, to, you know, make sure that people get their full amounts, etc., etc. And then I start to regret it all and wish I'd just built the damn school. That may I say. That may I say. Can their money be sent back to GoFundMe for them to do the refund? Not sure if you answered this already. Okay, so that's a good question. Let me just check that because I actually didn't check that. That's a good question. Can I return money to GoFundMe after withdrawing to bank account? I don't think you can. I think once you do that, that's it. Or hold on. Ah, you can. That's brilliant. It says it is possible to return to GoFundMe after withdrawing it to a bank account, but it depends on the specific circumstances. If you've withdrawn the funds and realize the donation needs to be refunded, you can initiate a refund through the GoFundMe system, but the process might vary. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Let me go, yes, so. If you're the organizer and want to refund donors before transferring funds, you can, no, that's not before. So if you've already transferred the funds to your bank account, you may still be able to refund donors. You'll need to navigate to the transfer section in your GoFundMe dashboard and follow the instructions for editing and deleting your bank account details. You may also need to contact GoFundMe's customer support for assistance, especially if the refund involves a large sum or if you encounter issues. So it's possible. Now that solves everything. I don't need to be dealing with the various places where I've transferred the money to. I have to take all those monies. I have to bear the cost of, taking those and transferring them to whatever bank account that was attached to the GoFundMe. And then I'm going to have to arrange for that refund via GoFundMe, and GoFundMe can probably take it out of the bank account and send it to those people. I'll have to reach out to GoFundMe's customer support. And that will definitely reduce the complications, and it will also ensure that the donations are not misused or abused, and that there is a clear paper trail between individual donors and GoFundMe. Remember, I'm telling you, say no put no big up yourself vibes. No put nobody name over here, Oh, okay. Oh no, do it, cause when we get black. Can the money be sent? Yeah, so that's the answer to your question, Daily Musings. If anyone needs a refund from GoFundMe, just inform your bank that you never authorized the transaction, but you did though. I think that would also be lying, wouldn't it be, Noriax? What's online is he thinks he's smart. Has absolutely no intention of returning people's funds. Request for refunds too complicated, so he wins. I am not going to put my mouth on anybody. They must know what they're doing. You understand? And how they're going to do it, right? I have nothing to say where that is concerned. If the person is gonna do it, they're gonna do it. If him between him and him donors, them no plan for do it, me no business. You understand? I'm telling you what the law is, what's possible legally, what the transaction should look like for transparency. That's my focus. Not them and them bangarang, because them and them bangarang, they're gonna have to work that out themselves, right? But I can understand why people are going to be, the ones who are the monitors of charity, why they're going to be up in arms. I can understand why criticism will be directed towards anybody who is doing this. I can understand it. And I don't see how anybody who even has the least amount of sense can't understand it. Because when it comes to these things, there is a right and a wrong way to do things, right? Um, and yeah, I always knew that that wasn't going to go anywhere, for the record. Because I even said it, that I don't have any faith in one, but I have faith in the two ladies who were also on the platform as well when I made that comment. You understand? Because I know that swimming across borders, you have to be packing. You hear me say? You have to be packing. It don't work like that. It's not so easy. Yes, I would think that there can be some redress instead of going through unnecessary stress. Yes, yes, yes. So hopefully the customer services might be able to simplify things from GoFundMe support, in case that's the route that that's what happened, and it needs to go that way, right? So it's just about contacting customer support from GoFundMe, and they can give good advice based on the specific in the situation, right? um but let me tell you something. You see, when it comes to people money, me not play money game, you can't bad it, right? um it just gets, it can get messy and sticky, and people will be looking at you the side eye and all them something there. Yo, just do your thing yourself. No reason, no, if you can avoid ask people for people money, avoid it. I better you do your thing yourself. You understand? And also, do not do knee-jerk reactions. Properly research matters, because I would think that if you're going to set up a GoFundMe for the purpose of um building a school, that you would go and you would find out the cost of the land, the cost of the material, the cost of the labor, the cost of the licenses involved. You know, you would go and do that research and put together a budget. And then once you've put that together, you would then present that budget and say, okay, for my GoFundMe, I'm going to need X amount, because this is what it's gonna cost. You don't just pull a number out of thin air and run with that, right? Um, so I don't know if research was done and it just never got to the goal. So it became more of a tedious thing to wait out the time to get it done. And then by then, the impulse to do the school has gone. You know what I say? All right. Good. So it's really up to, up to individuals how they make use of a platform like GoFundMe. GoFundMe can be very helpful, very useful for real situations, but it doesn't mean that it's not capable of being exploited. But there are severe consequences if they are exploited. And when you have a public platform, you come under scrutiny very heavily when it comes to these things. Money is something that is going to be watched, and it's a shame that we are like that. But I always say people who look into these things should not be dismissed, because sometimes their very eyes on a situation can stop people from being exploited because people are watch. And sometimes people watch more than the institutions themselves. So it has a role. And while it can be annoying, especially when there's no lack of transparency, sometimes these people do spot things that are not a lie. That may I say. The organizer was too confident that they'd get overwhelming support in the GoFundMe, but they clearly fell through and backfired. Yeah, to an extent. Don't request a refund from GoFundMe. It's complicated. Contact your bank and tell them never authorize. You never authorize. Yeah, I can't. I can't pass on that as advice, Norias, as I said, because you would then be, say for example, you wanted your money back. The person changed their mind. Them tell you so then change their mind. That's not fraud. But if you go and tell the bank, give me back my money because me ask GoFundMe if you take you out, or me never do this, then the bank is going to be looking at they're going to flag that transaction as fraudulent when the person has clearly told you they're no longer going ahead with building the school, so you can take back your money or whatever, and do it via GoFundMe. So it's like you then put that person in a position where they're being investigated for their transactions and being flagged by GoFundMe as a fraudster. So that's not right. We can't tell people to go to their banks and do that because that's not right, you know? So it has to be the case of the person has declared it. But I personally would just never touch that money. I would leave it right there. I don't see the purpose of withdrawing it. I don't see the benefit of taking it out. You understand? I'd leave it right there. What was the benefit? What was the purpose of me going into the GoFundMe? It hasn't yet gotten to the amount. What am I taking it out for? What am I taking it out for when I'm not ready to act? You know what I'm saying? That action can backfire on you. Yeah. Why would I take it out? I would not touch it. That's me personally. I would not touch it because it's like I don't have enough money for building my school. So what me I take it out for? Right? I don't want to get started and I don't get to my goal and then I'm stuck with one whole lumber and steel and brick, and then me can't afford the labor for put it together. Me can't wire the place. It don't make sense. So me would have left it there until me know say, yeah, I have it now. Now me can start and do the act. And that's what transparency is about. You hear what I'm saying? Right? The people know that the money is there and it's not gonna be touched until it gets to the right amount. And then I can use it for exactly what I said I was gonna use it for. And if I change my mind, it's sitting right there where they put it. So it can go right back to them. Easy peasy lemon squeezy in 7 to 10 working days. You understand? Yes, you feel ma, I don't know if you knew or you late, but try go on, no put nobody me a talk about building a school, mama. Building a school is what I'm talking about. Me say me nah mention them people, So no put no we're too closely aligned to all of that. We are talking about whether or not GoFundMe and transparency can go together. And what would be a good reason for people to question the transparency. And putting together ideas about how to solve it in a way that would lead to transparency being displayed. Whoever take the advice, take the advice. Whoever don't listen, don't listen. You hear that? So I'm in a business about nothing else. All I'm saying is that, I can understand why people are in an uproar. I can understand it. But if the donors don't mind, they don't care, and they want to dash it, I saw it go out here. Business people and their money, they can do what they want to do with it. They can bid who they want bid in it. Me tell you some see people are raise money for the dumbest ass things. Out here and then get it. Me see that, and then get it. So these things, I don't really bat an eyelid about it. But I can understand why people are in an uproar. Yeah, I can understand it. And I can understand why them saying I look good. Yeah, me can understand that too. Sexy me and dark, sexy me and dark up the place. Hail in the G bless, big of yourself. Right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, because I remember hearing a platform holder come out here and say that they advised people to target an older audience because they're lonely at home. I remember hearing that in a straight out of a certain platform holder's mouth. Not call a name, but they told that person to actually do that. And I was like, boy, someone only really talk too much. God knows, like, why would you say that? Because even saying that, it's clear that you are encouraging them to exploit, because lonely people and so on, and older people as an audience, you're basically saying pander to them because they're going to give you the views and the numbers and the real support and get the stars and get it this and get it that, because and the person even went into detail talking about the fact that, listen, these older people, they don't got no kids at home, them sit down for one whole heap of money and ray. That's a exploiting talk. I said it. Yes, Linda G. Big up yourself. You see that you were on my live when I said that. You see I was on my live when I said that, right? I said it loud and clear that certain GoFundMe's, etc. is not gonna go anywhere. I said it. I said it. You understand? Because when you do, as I said, when you're doing things across borders, it costs money. I'm gonna tell you, so that's why such man and such woman would I hesitate for come off for me, because it a go broke them. It a go broke them for do it. It a go broke them. Mm-hmm. And then them would have lose too. But anyway, like I said, right? We need to be careful how we handle people's money out here. We do. And I don't think there's anything wrong with people being aware of where they put their funds, what it's for, how it's used, and all of that. It's a good thing, because if we don't have these things, then it opens up a floodgate for all of the chopper them, where choppy line, for come and take advantage. That's what it does, because they feel that there is nobody there to check and balance them, nobody to pay attention to what they're doing. So if say you're above board, you're honest, you're doing the things them in a transparent way, then you don't need to give one damn about people looking into you. It's annoying, yeah, because it's like somebody's questioning your integrity. But if you know that you're doing the right thing, care zero. Care zero. Yes, Pottinger, that as well. My God, someone really said that. Bam bam. You'd be surprised to know. Ooh, them say it. Them say it out of them mouth. Them say it out of them mouth, bam bam. Them say it loud and clear. Them say it here. Them say it out of them mouth. And even my mouth hit the floor, because I was like, what? That they advised the platform holders to do that. Yeah, so that they can make money. I wonder if the live's still up. If I can't find it, I find it and send it to you. Here. But it was there. It was there. So it's definitely in the mindset of some of these people to do things like that. And it's not good. It's not a good thing at all, because there are people out here on social media who are vulnerable. and who, because they love your entertainment, they love what you stand for, will just give up them hard-earned money, them pension, to keep the entertainment going, or to be in your good graces, because them pitney them grow up and God left them not getting no attention. You call them name 2 times, them feel special. So them start, dash them money at you and stuff like that. That's why I got so annoyed, right? When I heard one blogger opening her mouth and talking about how people on my page are donating to me off air. I'm like, you got me confused with yourself. Don't mix me. As much as we like mix up out here, we don't mix with you. For that reason. Because I don't want my name calling and them stupidness there. Nobody on here is giving me nothing behind no closed doors or whatever. I don't want nor need. One person gave me a tip after buying a merch of over £200, and my company and ball it out. Come in did frightened. Come here, I'll contact the person and said, ma'am, you bought a hoodie. Did you plan to give me a donation out of that? Sister, your tip, was that a mistake? Did you plan to put £25 as a tip? And the person tell me straight, for all the hard work that I've been putting in when it come to dirty such man and him woman and that little girl we are fight for justice for, she give me that as a gift. I'ma come out here and ball out. You understand? But I don't ask for things like that. I don't ask for it. All right? I don't ask for it. Yeah? Thank God me no lonely. I'm not tell you. Right. But yes, as you said, Pottinger, maybe after further consultation it was deemed viable. And if that happens and it goes ahead, then that's brilliant. I can build my school. I can say, listen, guys, the donation is going to be used. I've decided I'm going ahead with it. So it's going to happen. Then everybody will be pleased. There's no need for any rocking the boat, any refunds, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to see the outcome of me building the school. So that will show that I have used it in the right way. You understand? But like I said, we do need to be responsible with things like this, and not use our charm in a way that makes people feel as though if they do ask back for it, they're going to be less favored. You understand? Because there are people who are psychological bullies, that would say, boy, it has stressed me out, it has caused me so much grief for the days and so, but me send it to you, because I know say, me never do what me say me that go do. Me now bother build a school, my love. So me gonna send it back to you. And the person say, oh God, you sound like you're under pressure with all of these things where you have to do. It's all right, man, keep it, man. You sure? You sure? Yes, man, say me love you. You know me love you, So just keep it, man. And do whatever you want to do with it. Put it towards the instead of doing the school, just buy the bicycle them for the kids. Right? All right then. You understand? Or the next one say, yo, oh, you tell me say you go build a school. I you not build a school. Give me back my money, man. Send it back on, give me. And re. So make you go and so you think say me that got thief your money? Me tell you say me not bother do it. So me send back the money for the school to you. So where you go and so far? And re. Alright. Me go for my life and me go rub you. Me go for my life and me go rub you. And you go like say, me think, you think say me hungry, alright, well, blah, blah, blah. And them say, Lord Jesus, I better me not tell kids say she a go like she a thief my money or show her attitude ya come. I want she go up on her platform and tell me two dirty bad word and make me quail up and feel like say I want to kill myself. So you know something, make her keep it, cause me can't take embarrassment. Just I show you the thing. Cause when an idiot out ya. Are them do it? No attitude and say yes. I'd like back the money that I donated for the school if that's okay. All right, no problem, no problem. And next time we see Linda up on my live, let's blank Linda. Linda Depan. Hi Kay. Hi. I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna read Pattinger comments. I'm gonna read Sexy B comments. I'm gonna don't see Linda none at all. But just ignore that. I said, make she move and go. Many ways to skin a cat. I'm just saying, guys, just be careful out here, man. Stop doing foolishness. You get me? Stop doing foolishness. Okay, I see. Well, I doesn't know. May I delete that in a sexy bee? Too much info. May I delete that sexy bee? Too much info. Yeah. As I said, if they said to me, say, Kay, use the money and buy the bicycles instead of building a school, right? Use the money and buy the bicycle. And buy the bicycle for the kids, we'll be happy with that. That can, you see, now that it is off GoFundMe's books officially, that can be a one-to-one conversation that you can have with your donors. But is it legal? It's not. For it to be legal, I would have to start up a completely new GoFundMe. I would have to refund that money back to the donors via GoFundMe or, directly. I'd have to completely set up a new GoFundMe and then would I have to put that money back in for the new sitting. Or me not bother do a GoFundMe, me just refund the money and then them get back their money and then they give back to me and me take the money and go do the bicycle drive. That's the legal, transparent transaction. That's all I'm commenting on. It doesn't mean that people can't talk to them one another and decide that so we are gonna angle it or so we're gonna do it. That's a between people and people. You can't stop people from doing what they want to do. Big up yourself, bro Shaka. You can't stop people from doing what they want to do with the person when they love or adore upon social media. You can't stop it. No matter how much you make up nice and say this not right and right, it may not be right. But if the people and love the people, then they're gonna do it regardless. They're gonna do it regardless. What's important is how you know where to put your money and where not to put it. Right? You have to make that decision for yourself. But if the people are like, you know what? We're not business what K use the money for the way we love K. We just are gonna say K use the money, do anything you want to do with it. Nobody put it back in and go for me and I have to give me back a penny. Oh no can't stop it. You understand? Big up yourself, Valerie. You can't stop it. This is the nature of the beast. And that is why we have people who come on social media, they beg for every flipping thing, anything they want, they beg for it. And because people love their platforms, they love the entertainment, the entertainment that they provide takes them out of isolation because there are a lot of isolated people. Then they fall to it and they give. They give. Luckily, some people would take that money and put it to a good cause, but some people take it and use it for selfish purposes. You understand? And people are still, even when they are aware of it or made aware of it, will still give because they are so happy to feel a sense of belonging by being on that platform and being acknowledged, that they will sacrifice themselves to do it and sacrifice the needs and wants of people who are even in their family to do it. And no matter how much noise people make about that, they would rather have that feeling, that buzz, than to want to out the person as no scammer. You understand? It's down to the ethics and the morals of the platform holder to do the right thing. You hear that? Right? I no longer work from home, so I don't have social media luxury. Oh no. You understand? But just be aware that this is just the nature of things. I've shown you, some of the factual things with regards to how to get refunds via GoFundMe, what's possible, what's not possible, what looks like transparency, what doesn't look like transparency, what can happen if somebody decides not to be transparent, and what can happen if somebody decides to be transparent. I think it's important to let people show who they are rather than predict what they are going to do or what their intentions are. Which is why I said I don't want that person's name over here and I don't want the details of the case over here for the simple reason that we don't know what the person plans to do. And sometimes people jump the gun and start assuming Ray. But likewise, many times people, the persons involved put too much out there, or the way it's put out there results in these inquiries and investigations and everybody having their talk and their say, which we as bloggers, we don't mind, it's content for us. I don't give one flying monkey. It's content for us. And us talking about it is actually an honest bread. You understand? So no matter me, but I like to educate my graduates and to make you guys aware of what's possible, what's not possible. So I keep you guys above the fray and you don't get caught up too much. But it's always best to watch and see what people do and how they prove themselves in the long run. So that you don't jump to any conclusions. That's how I look at it, right? But we've got to call a spade a spade. There are better ways that things can be done. Anyway, big up on a nice clean self. I'm a bounce. And yeah, I need to go fix this other hand. I cannot believe these nails. They're so annoying. All right, later, guys. Talk to you guys later. Big up on yourself. Bye.